Teyana Taylor won the first Golden Globe, man.
Listen.
Good for her. She's cranking them out.
Listen, we got to give it up for Teyana Taylor here for one battle after another. Even though she wasn't in a chunk of the movie.
She didn't need to be.
Her role, her presence in what she did was so meaningful and raw that she her essence kind of sprinkled along the entire story arc of the movie, if you think about it. Like, it was her kid that happened to be now the focus of this. It happened, I think
that's the point.
That's the point, yes.
Is that she carried on her legacy even though she wasn't in the film. That's such a nuanced, I think, symbolic metaphor for, I think, maybe perhaps how members of the Black community, especially Black women, are viewed. Like, they may seem invisible or feel invisible, but their legacy is so strong.
Oh, yeah.
That even when they're not present,
give it
will
for
carry
Kate
on.
with the Black legacy.
Live from Factory Underground Radio, it's Strictly Adapted with Quixote and Kate. You're on.
Welcome to the show, y'all. This is Strictly Adapted here at WFUT Factory Underground Radio. It's another Saturday, y'all. Not looking too great outside. It's not like it's raining. It's not like it's snowing. It's sort of just I don't know, Kate. What, like, just meh?
Meh, yeah.
Yeah, meh at best.
It's not even that cold. I'm having this weird reverb echo thing happening right now. I don't know what's going on. Do you hear me properly?
I do.
All right.
Like, good stuff.
Yeah.
Make sure you guys support. And here's the thing. You guys gotta like and write comments in the YouTubes and all that stuff.
Can you stop pluralizing these social media platforms?
You got to see
the TikToks.
The tick
You're dating yourself. You know that, right?
The tick and talks.
Not the tick and talk.
Okay, listen, we got to get into some of the week's news on this morning
I don't
brew
know.
news of the week.
Is it just more of the same? What are we like?
Well, what do you have anything?
Has the Venezuelan president been returned to his post yet?
No, but the opposition leader,
Venezuela,
from Venezuela, may be the next leader, depending on if Trump feels like it.
Oh, also the couple that was slain in Ohio. I have an update about that.
Oh, what's the update on the slain couple?
It was.
You give last week's news break.
It's not me. It's the news. I have no control over that.
Last week's news break.
It's the news.
Was
It's terrible.
Terrible. It was
this
depressing.
is what we're dealing with, people. Whatchamacallit? It was her ex-husband.
Oh,
Really? Kill them both. Yeah.
That was it.
And you know what? Yeah, that's the update. But also because we didn't know who did it, or maybe I did say that last week. I can't remember. But that would explain why. It explained why to me. I could be wrong, but that would explain why, her kids or her babies were left unharmed as their uncle. I think he was just vengeful against her and her husband. I don't think it had anything to do with the kids.
What was that story again, Kate? Like, what was the big deal?
He traveled to Ohio and murdered them.
My man traveled.
Yeah, he didn't live there.
To do this.
Yeah. Not traveled to do this.
And speaking of Netflix, they have implemented the new video podcasts, and the list of podcasts that they chose is, in my opinion, sort of whack. It's trash. They're not hot podcasts that are out right now. They're hot, right? They're big, but they're not the, I guess, noteworthy ones or the ones that like people would know, like a Joe Rogan. But he's on Spotify, so I don't know if Netflix and Spotify have a thing where, but things like that. Like there are these podcast shows that are now on Netflix that seem they're all right. They're interesting, but they're not that
Well, speaking
great.
of the Golden Globes,
this is not that interesting.
The Golden Globes introduced a new category for podcasts. This was the first year, which I think it makes sense, right? It's Golden Globes is kind of a universal award show for like all categories, TV, movies, all types of entertainment. So it makes sense that podcast has found its way, knowing how big they are now, which was just inevitable at some point.
Welcome to the show, y'all. This is Strictly Adapted here at Factory Underground Radio. Give it up for us. We come here every Saturday. We want to deliver a great show. And we got a good one because we got our couples topic of the week.
I think that was it.
Couples topic of the week. Today's topic is what?
Well, on the heels of my chick flick last week, which was When Harry Met Sally, and the overarching theme throughout that film of whether men and women can be friends, that's the couple's topic. Do we think that men and women can have platonic relationships?
and women have platonic relationships. Can men and women be friends, Kate? And I'm going to take the lead on this one. I got to talk about it. Got to talk about it.
Okay, go for it.
Yes and no. Yes, if the friend was there before dating and marriage, and if the friend has never been in a relationship with your spouse, these are all my conditions. No relationship with the spouse. We've met before I met my spouse. And yeah, those are my two conditions. So yes, that's where I'm at, where yes, men and women can be friends even if you might happen to be married. My friendship with that woman has to be like from elementary school and we never dated. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I think it's a slippery slope. However, I do think it is possible. I think that men and women can be friends. If you are married, I think obviously there's boundaries, there's respect. I think, I think if you lay out the expectations and you lay out the boundaries from the beginning, then that friend needs to respect that. And if you're good, you're good.
It's just strange. Like if you, like, let's say you were texting your guy friend in the middle of the night or at night or during the day. I just feel like that's weird. Like, especially if you're married, right? Like, I just don't, I'm not going to sit in the bed texting a girlfriend of mine, but like snickering. I'm not doing that.
That sounded like you were being tickled. That's weird.
That does sound like I was being.
Expectations and boundaries very clearly. You've done your part. If the person decides not to respect that, then they don't, and that goes with boundaries in anything in life. You don't need to have that person part of your life. If there is no sense of respect for a boundary in your life that you have laid very clearly, then that person doesn't care about you. So you need to keep it moving. But I hear you. I understand what you mean. I think also too, you keep things out in the open. You have honest conversations with your partner, and you allow them to understand, hey, this is a friendship or relationship. I remember when I met you, you had, friends that were women or female, from years and years prior. And I didn't have an issue with it because I was like, you knew these women before you met me. And I'm not going to be, I hate it when people get into relations, be like, get rid of all your female friends or get rid of all your male friends. Like, no, like, we're human beings. We shouldn't have to do that. And as you get to know the person, if they've shown that they can be trusted and whatever, then it's truly a platonic relationship, then I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I think it's always about respecting your spouse and your partner and seeing where they're at with it and how they feel about it. And your obligation and responsibility is to them, first and foremost.
Ago.
Not 2 months ago.
And she's single.
No.
Okay, so that's where...
No, not.
Oh, no.
That's not ugly.
Don't lie.
Well, not attractive and single. Good God, what are we doing? No, I'm sorry. I sound
because I know me. That can't.
I sound like a jealous
that can't
hag. That's not the case. No, that would go for me too. You wouldn't want me
friends with Michael B. Jordan Jr. No, insane. I'm going to be friends with him first. Welcome to the Rotten Tomatoes Film of the Week.
I like it. All right. That did it for me. The boys are back, baby.
The boys are back.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon together again. It's been a while. In The Rip, now on Netflix, with also Teyana Taylor, Stephen Yeun, Kyle Chandler. It's a great film, actually. It's actually based on real events on this cop crew that does
Don't give too much.
Yeah. No, I know, because it's new. Does this rip at this stash house and kind of what unfolds from there. Watching Matt Damon and Ben Affleck together on screen is like they're almost not acting. I guarantee you, most of the times you see them on screen together alone probably was like improvised regular conversation. It was like they were sitting in a coffee shop, not acting. Like, they are just awesome together. They always have been. I mean, since days of Good Will Hunting, I mean, they've gone on and done tons of stuff in their own right. They're both Oscar winners. I mean, it's just, they're fantastic. They are such a fantastic duo. They still seamlessly got it. It's just great.
I just felt like Netflix spent a ton of money for these actors just so that the movie could get pushed or get watched, and it was just going to be trash subject-wise.
Do you think Matt Damon and Ben Affleck would put their name on something like that, though? I don't think they would do that.
They wouldn't, but I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay.
But this one started off slow for me and ramped the heck up.
Yeah, it was
from the
very
second
good.
act on. It was very well done, nicely paced. Some of the action sequences were a little
I think the
strange.
action was weak, though.
The
action was weak.
Yeah, it was filmed weird. The action sequence felt very
Contrived.
Contrived, but also very, I don't know, they just didn't seem well produced. Great twists and turns. What you think is going to happen is definitely not what's happening in the film.
It's true.
It was very well done.
Next up is His and Hers with Barenthal. What's his first name?
John Barenthal.
Thank you. John
Tessa
and
Thompson.
Tessa Thompson. What was she in?
She's been in the Thor movies. She was in the Creed movies.
Oh, Creed. That's where I know her from. Okay.
That's a very good actress.
Yeah, so we're interested about that. And then we have, I don't know if she's very good. She's decent.
Good.
She's good.
Yeah.
I don't know, very good. That might be hyperbole here. But no, yeah, so we're into that. I'm into Runaway, which is based on Harlan Coben, who's a British author. It's based on his novels. It's the second Harlan Coben novel brought to Netflix. The first one was kind of whack, but this one's actually pretty good. Still a couple campy moments, but Minnie Driver is part of the cast. Alfred Enoch, who was back in the day, back in Harry Potter, also part of How to Get Away with Murder. Very, very good. It's so far. It's very, very, twisty and turny. So I'm interested in that. And then this new rom-com that's out called People We Meet on Vacation, based on the book. I haven't gotten into that yet. Something else that we've watched that I didn't cover last week is The Materialist.
The Materialist.
Starring Pedro Pascal. Be Still My Heart. Can we have a moment of appreciation for Pedro Pascal? Anyway.
You can't be his friend. No friends.
Nice circle back.
No friends with
I like
Pedro
how
Pascal.
you did that.
Y'all, give it up for us. It's another Saturday. We are here live at Factory Underground Radio, bringing you the latest, greatest in all things pop culture, film, streaming, TV, all that good stuff. Welcome back. And now we have our...
It would have been better if you had been all that jazz.
Man, Kate, the wheels wind out of my sails. Okay. Welcome to the Legends and Icons portion of the show. Great director James LeVar Cameron.
Wait, is that his middle name?
No, it's not.
Oh,
James Cameron.
Wait, what? So today we're going to dive into kind of going from early, but kind of with his hits now, and then we're going to talk about one of his most famous, if not his most famous, film of all time. Saying that next year will be 30 years since the movie came out.
30 years.
I remember seeing it in the movie theater with my dad, which during that infamous sex scene was quite awkward. But anyway, epic about the RMS.
But there was nothing going on, though.
It was the innuendo, my friend.
So what, your dad was...
Yeah, it was sweating. He was so uncomfortable. Nothing, and that, and Black Swan. I don't know how we keep finding ourselves in these precarious movie-watching experiences.
Thank God he didn't watch Showgirls.
Think about the RMS Titanic, which sank 1912 after hitting an iceberg. With a production budget of $200 million at the time, it was the most expensive film ever made. Legendary greats, Leonardo DiCaprio, Kate Winslet, who were both in their 20s when they made it, early 20s when they made it. Billy Zane, Kathy Bates, list just goes on and
Francis
Fisher.
Francis Fisher.
Yes. Victor Garber. The film was also Cameron's first large-scale production with Landau as a co-producer. So just to kind of talk about this, and we're going to dive into it, a replica of the ship was built in Rosarito Beach, and principal photography began in September 1996. Titanic made headlines before its release for being over budget and exceeding its schedule. That's right, I do remember that. In a radical departure from Cameron's previous work, his completed screenplay depicts the two star-crossed lovers from different social classes who fall in love amid the backdrop of the ship's tragedy. Titanic premiered on December 19th, 1997. The film received strong critical acclaim and became the highest grossing film of all time, holding this position for 12 years until Cameron's Avatar beat the record in 2010. How are you going to beat your own record, though?
Beat his own
record.
Talk
about a PR. The costumes and sets were praised, and the Washington Post considered the CGI graphics to be spectacular for that time. Titanic received a record-tying 14, tied with All About Eve in 1950 at the 1998 Academy Awards. It won 11 of the 14 awards, tying the record for most wins with Ben-Hur, The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. Remember that? They won tons of awards.
That was a sweep.
Best Picture, Best Director, Best Art Direction, Best Cinematography, Best Visual Effects, Best Film Editing, Best Costume Design, Best Sound Mixing, Best Sound Editing, Best Original Score, and Best Original Song. With that, we are going to head into celebrating James Cameron's Titanic.
Listen, y'all, one of my favorite films of all time.
You have always said that.
And this is just a little something. The great Celine Dion. When you hear this song, this is a heck of a karaoke song, too.
I used to know this song by heart, by the way.
I mean, when you hear this song, I mean, my God, man, it just takes you back. Now, would I want to be on that ship? Heck no. I would have been thrown out. They would have threw me overboard as a raft.
That's true. Oh, not as a raft. Coyote, that's terrible. It was just great. And it went on to create a foundation also, too, for Kate Winslet and Leonardo DiCaprio to act together in a couple of other movies moving forward throughout the years. They have great respect for each other. They're within the same age range, too, so they've really just grown up in the industry together.
I'll tell you one thing,
great actors. They're both Oscar winners.
Yeah. Titanic was epic
totally epic.
In
100%.
scale of the film, in what he wanted to get out of these actors, the effects for that time in 1997, the money it made. James Cameron, what I love about this at James Cameron is that he puts it all on the line, and by any means necessary, we're going to get this done. If it's dangerous for the actor, we're going to figure out a way where you don't die on set.
Just watching them having to do waiting around in this water when they were filling up the boat, right? And the actors talk about that. That was definitely, I think the reason is because he wants to create visceral feelings from the actors so they can portray it so the audience can feel it. And you can't do that. Nowadays, like with Avatar, right? They're acting, but they're not they're not in a jungle swinging from trees. They're doing most of that through CGI. So I think with something like Titanic, you want to be able to convey the fear that those people probably felt knowing that they were in peril.
Speaking of legendary and big time, let's get into this week's Blaxploit of the Week. A Different World, Part 3, The Characters.
You mean after today?
I'm going to do one more, and that's the best episodes of this show.
Okay, I like it.
And today, I'm going to give you a couple of actors who we got to mention in terms of the best characters of this show. And we got to get it with Jada Pinkett, who played Lena James. Shook things up on Hillman's campus, outspoken and fearless. She was never one to back down from anybody, including her ex-boyfriend Piccolo, played by the great Tupac. One thing that we got to remember, in one of the episodes, she fabricated an entire story about her father for Professor Foster's class,
and had to
keep up her lie when she won a literary award for the same story. Characters are important, but I got to give you I got to name the top. Jaleesa Vincent. Brave student.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
She enrolled in school as a divorced freshman at the age of 25. Yeah. She even lived in the dorms so she could get her degree no matter what it took. She was bred to be a businesswoman. After all, Jaleesa sang. She performed with Gladys Knight in one of the episodes, went toe-to-toe with Whitley on several occasions. The one person who did soften her sometimes was her boyfriend, Walter Oakes. That's another one. And, of course, Vernon Gaines. Mr. Gaines, played by the late Lou Myers, was the truth. He was grumpy. He was a black man with a heart of gold.
Wait, is that you reading that?
I'm reading this. He's running the pit. And what was cool about Mr. Gaines, he was a guy that you might have thought didn't like you, but always gave you a gem, something wise that you could go off and use in your everyday life.
He was almost like that grumpy uncle that loves you, but secretly is bothered by your existence. And secretly I feel bothered, like that was his character on the show. Like, he was annoyed by all these young college kids, but he secretly loved them, and he was like a father to them all. And I loved his character.
Walter,
I love that song.
Welcome back to Scriptly Adapted here at Factory Underground Radio. We are back, y'all. Welcome to the show. If you just missed it, we had our Blaxploit Week 3. We had James Cameron as our Legends and Icons featuring Titanic. Thank you for joining us here at Factory Underground Radio. Oakes. He was Hillman's father figure, played by the great Sinbad. He coached just about every sport at the college. He was the co-director of Gilbert Hall along with Jaleesa. when the dorm turned co-ed. Because he was played by comedian Sinbad, there was never any shortage of comic relief. But Walter knew when to get serious.
Get him.
Colonel Taylor.
That's right.
Played by Glenn Thurman. Forgot that he wasn't in Vietnam. He was in the Vietnam War, and his students at Hillman were young adults. But he brought the best out of everyone, especially Dwayne. And what I loved about that is that he knew Dwayne's promise. He knew that he had something. And every episode, I was feeling Dwayne's pain in that math class because he was so hard on him. But he knew Dwayne knew it. And he just pushed out the best out of him. And he got the best out of him. So Dwayne was one of them who followed in his footsteps, became a professor. And things did get a little weird when he started dating Jaleesa, that was an interesting turn in seasons because he was so much older and Jaleesa was younger.
Right, that's right. I knew she had an older. That's right.
They got married and had a baby.
That's correct. Yeah.
They got married, had a baby.
I knew it, and I couldn't remember what character it was.
Gina Devereaux. Gina was a side character who made most of her time at Hillman. She showed viewers that she was a well-rounded student who had flaws. First, the good, she joined a sorority, made a great group of friends. The unfortunate, she dated Gino. Right? You remember this episode? She dated Gino, one of the most popular guys on campus, as people discovered he was physically abusing her. Gina was able to see that he wasn't going to change while they were still together and made the brave decision to leave him behind. But listen, y'all.
Listen,
that is
we're gonna wrap up next week with some pivotal, crucial episodes. Some funny, some heavy hitters.
Yes.
Love that song.
Welcome back to Scriptly Adapted here at Factory Underground Radio. We are back, y'all. Welcome to the show. If you just missed it, we had our Blaxploit week 3. We had James Cameron as our Legends and Icons featuring Titanic. Thank you for joining us here at Factory Underground Radio. We are here for Kate's Chick Flick. Welcome to the Chick Flick of the day. Kate.
Yes.
What is today's Chick Flick?
Well, it's... Why did you say it like that? It is a series it's a modern rom-com this time. I'm hitting the modern ones, y'all. Called Nobody Wants This. You may have heard about it. It keeps getting nominated, actually. It's on Netflix. Season 2 premiered about maybe 2 months ago. Starring Adam Brody, Kristen Bell, Justine Lupe, Leighton Meester, Jackie Tone, Timothy Simons. The list goes on and on. But basically, it's about this girl who's kind of cynical when it comes to love. She's single, living her life, has a podcast with her sister, talking about the single life and stuff. She comes from kind of a funny, dysfunctional family. And she just randomly goes to a dinner date or something, and she gets introduced, kind of not a blind date, but kind of an introduction where this rabbi happens to be a guest also at this dinner party, played by Adam Brody. Young rabbi, he's a good-looking young rabbi, and he's single. So there's many expectations for rabbis, obviously, to get married, start a family. He happens actually to be in a relationship in the beginning of part of this show, but he winds up falling for Kristen Bell's character, and they're trying to make it work because she is not Jewish. And so it's will they, won't they break up, but they get back together. But it's just, the ensemble cast is just so good, and it's just a really quirky, feel-good show about how their relationship can work, all the different nuances between baby naming ceremonies that she doesn't understand, and this annual thing that Jewish people do. I forgot what it's called, but that she's part of that too, and she doesn't really understand it. And him trying to understand non-Jewish customs. A great, quirky, cute show. Feel good. This season also surrounds Noah's character, played by Adam Brody, and his quest to really find his next big thing. He gets let go as. He gets passed over as a promotion for being head rabbi of the temple that he's in because he is in a non-Jewish relationship. And they're concerned that she's not going to convert, and that'll be bad. So they pass him over for a promotion, and so he decides to leave and find his place somewhere else. And he's having a tough time. It's really about finding your place too, and understanding, finding a balance between things you want, things you need, things you have to do, things you want to do. And it's really, really good.
Yeah.
It's just such an Easter egg. And if you didn't catch it, you'd be so lost. But Stephanie Faracy, who plays Lynn, who is Kristen Bell's character's mother in this show, she was in Hocus Pocus, and she played his mother, the original Hocus Pocus. And in the Hocus Pocus film, they go to a concert, and she dresses up as Madonna when she had the cones.
Yeah.
In the episode where they're at this traditional dressed up event, she walks into the party dressed up in the same outfit, and it was paying homage to her role in Hocus Pocus. And it was such a brilliant Easter egg in that episode. I couldn't get over it. I was like, oh my gosh, I hope people watching this understand how great this is in this moment. It was so subtly done, and it was so brilliant.
Bring you the legend, the great, the icon, Miss Diana Ross. Kate, what do we have today?
Today's song is I'm Coming Out, is a song recorded by American singer Diana Ross. It was written and produced by Chic members Bernard Edwards and Nile Rodgers and released on August 22nd, 1980 by Motown as the second single from Ross's self-titled 11th album, Diana. It peaked at number 5 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100, number 1 on the Billboard Hot Disco Singles Chart, number 7 in France, number 8 in Ireland, and number 13 on the UK Singles Chart. Since its release, I'm Coming Out has been regarded as an anthem for the LGBTQ community. Ross commissioned Chic founders Nile Rodgers and Bernard Edwards to create material for a new album after taking her daughters to see the band in concert. The lyrics hold an additional meaning for Ross as she was leaving Motown Records and coming out from under Berry Gordy's thumb.
Bring you the legend, the great, the icon, Miss Diana Ross. Kate, what do we have today?
Today's song is I'm Coming Out, is a song recorded by American singer Diana Ross. It was written and produced by Chic members Bernard Edwards and Nile Rodgers and released on August 22nd, 1980 by Motown as the second single from Ross's self-titled 11th album, Diana. It peaked at number 5 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100, number 1 on the Billboard Hot Disco Singles Chart, number 7 in France, number 8 in Ireland, and number 13 on the UK Singles Chart. Since its release, I'm Coming Out has been regarded as an anthem for the LGBTQ community. Ross commissioned Chic founders Nile Rodgers and Bernard Edwards to create material for a new album after taking her daughters to see the band in concert. The lyrics hold an additional meaning for Ross as she was leaving Motown Records and coming out from under Berry Gordy's thumb. According to the BBC4 documentary How to Make It in the Music Business, Ross loved the record until she put it in front of Frankie Crocker, who pointed out that I'm Coming Out is what homosexual people use to announce their homosexuality, that listeners would think Ross herself was announcing she was gay, and that it would ruin her career. She allegedly ran back to the studio in tears and demanded to know why Rodgers and Edwards would write the song knowing that it would damage her career, but was later convinced that was not the case and decided to release the song. The song was another hit from the album, peaking at number 5 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 chart for 3 weeks in November in 1980.
Man, so, yeah. That's a heck of a story. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
You never know the background of these stories
so
until you actually start reading about the specific songs that we all grown to love. But thank you, Kate, for that artist highlight. The great Miss Diana Ross. We leave you here at Scriptly Adapted on this Saturday. Enjoy your day. Have a great one. Get together with some loved ones. Watch a good movie and chill out and wear your fuzzy socks, y'all. Mm-hmm. This is I'm Coming Out, Miss Diana Ross. Until next time, y'all.
Toodles.
Peace.
You're just listening to Scriptly Adapted on Factory Underground Radio and Live 365. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Scriptly Adapted.